Hello, my name's Abigail Gray. I'm an associate tutor on the NASENCO program with Best Practice. But in the rest of my life, I work as a special educational needs and disability consultant and author. It's the National Award for SENCOS, and the program is for qualified teachers who want to take up the role of SENCO, either at the time they might already be in post while they're doing the course, or they may be doing it in preparation for a future role. So the program is delivered in a sort of variety of ways. Um, there are lots of groups now that work completely remotely, and so they will be doing all of their face-to-face tutorial sessions online, and then they'll be doing their academic writing, and they'll be working towards a number of learning objectives by submitting information and documents that kind of naturally arise in their setting and commenting on those. On the virtual learning environment, which is kind of this platform that BPN have with lots of sort of scaffolded supportive tools to help people work their way through the course. And then they get 6 days face-to-face with one of us, mostly two of us actually these days. There's usually 2 tutors in each group. I do lots of online, but I also do groups face-to-face in training suites and hotels, mainly in London and the South East. But there are trainers all over the country working in training rooms doing face-to-face as well. There's quite a lot of us, I think, delivering this course with BPN. Because I work with lots of SENCOs and have worked with lots of schools for quite a long time now. And I think that the best practice NASENCO course offers a good balance between theory and academic writing and sort of research, but also it gives you an opportunity to think about and work through real life, real time situations that you're going to find yourself in as a SENCO. So it kind of relates theory to practice in a helpful way. An opportunity, I think, to meet other aspiring SENCOs and SENCOs in post. Every school only needs to have one SENCO, so it can be quite an isolating job. And so having an opportunity to get to know people in your area and even outside of your area is really helpful because it gives you a kind of network of colleagues outside your immediate environment that you can not only hear from and have their support for the course, but also it's something that you can have in your career as well. I think networks are really important for us now. 2 things. It's the actual experience of the course, but also the opportunity is to meet colleagues and to talk about your day-to-day life. They have the sort of operational responsibility for running the school's SEND provision. And that provision, unlike, whether if you're a phase leader or you're head of geography or IT or whatever it is, that's kind of discrete. SEND isn't. SEND is a provision that is a whole school. It's a whole school approach. It's a whole school set of values and practices. And the SENCO's role is to kind of hold that together. Obviously, the responsibilities within that to sort of identify and make provision for and support children who have special needs and disabilities is a delegated responsibility, and ultimately, that's delegated by the head, and then the governing body have very specific responsibilities. So it's an operational role, but it's a really interesting and important one because as a SENCO, you have to have some kind of relationship with everyone that works in the school, because the provision's made by everyone that works in the school. So it's a really important and it's a really exciting role, but it does carry with it some responsibilities that I think are quite significant. Choose SEND at the beginning and do your PGCE as a SENCO. It's essential that there's an opportunity to get an understanding of why we have SENCOs, what SEND provision is, what the history and legal framework for SEND is. And then it's really important to understand the processes and systems that exist at a local level, because your local authority has a really important role to play in this, whether you're an independent school or a maintained school or a special school or what. It's a partnership of a number of agencies working together, and you need time to understand that and get your head around it, and to link those things together. Obviously, we've not even talked about children. There's so much to learn and to discover about the neurodiversity in our classrooms, and the kinds of challenges and the kinds of strengths that our children with additional needs have. So there's all sorts of things to be gained from focused study. And to be honest, even in a course with this much content and depth, and there is a fair amount of content and depth, it's just the beginning. I've been doing this since I was 22, so that's just over 30 years, and I learn every day. I'll learn something new every day. It's an expanding, dynamic area. So it's a great place to start your learning journey, really. You know, you are providing a service. Your role kind of relates to everyone. And so having a SENCO that feels competent, that is clear about what they're accountable for, and able to use their position, their authority to make sure that systems are in place, but also to support and advise colleagues. That is what actually makes provision for children in the classroom. So there's an enormous benefit to getting things right. And it's not necessarily easy, but the benefit is ultimately children benefiting from the provision that they need in order to thrive and achieve in school. You have to turn up to your face-to-face days and participate and take part. So that's 6 face-to-face days. You're going to be producing 2 pieces of writing around 6,000 words, which is a fair amount of research and thinking and planning and execution time. And then you're going to be providing evidence that you've understood the learning objectives by making comments on and submitting documents like individual learning plans or provision maps or records of meetings or whatever it is that shows your understanding and participation in the thing that the learning objective is asking you to demonstrate. So some of it's academic and research and writing, but some of it is about saying, look, I understand what this means. I understand what the principles are here. Check this out. Tick off that objective. I get it. So there's something about it that's really quite logical and systematic, but they're the kinds of things that you're going to be doing. It all sounds a bit abstract maybe without actually looking at it, but it all makes sense when you just scan through the things that you're going to be doing.